Hello everybody, and thank you so much for joining us for this webinar on creating a magical relationship with your money. Tonight is being hosted by myself, Susie Shelmerdine, and my fabulous colleague, Sharon King. Hello, Sharon.
Hello, and hello everybody.
So we're truly honoured that so many of you have joined us from all around the world. So we're going to get cracking straight away, and I'm just going to give you a little bit about what you're going to experience on tonight's webinar. The one thing you will realise is that it is interactive. So you can send in your questions and your feedback, and we will also be asking you what's coming up for you, how you're feeling. And you can do this through the chat box. Now, you'll have a little GoToWebinar control panel on the side of your screen. And it's the one with the bar that starts with an orange square with a little white arrow in it. And underneath there is an options for your chat box, and you're able to send in your questions and your comments. Please send them to organisers only, because then they only go to Sharon's eyes. And if there's something that you would like to not be named out for, or just keep a little bit more personal, then please mark that to begin with in the message, and Sharon will be able to pick up on that. If you don't mark it to organisers and you send it to everyone, we have no control over their eyes seeing it. But it does allow you to ask questions at that time. We all know that when we're listening to something, an intuitive question can pop up, and we firmly believe that if you're asking that question, then other people will be wanting to know the answers if they're not asking and thinking the question themselves. So do send it in. If we don't answer straight away, it's just because there's going to be a more appropriate time for that to come up, or we're just going to, work with the flow and then answer the questions in a group sort of setting. It also allows us to check in with you when we're clearing the energy. We're going to have a couple of clearing sessions tonight because we have a fabulous full moon with eclipse, and our collective energies we use and we tune into when we're clearing energy on these calls is fabulous. Add in the emotions that a moon brings up, and specifically this one at the moment, all about endings and starting new beginnings. It enables us to tune into what's happening with you, but also gives you that bit more security that we're at the end of a chat box if anything comes up for you. And at the end, if you'd like to talk to us in person, which we love, by the way, we love the chat box, but we also love speaking to you. You can pop your hand up. There should be a little hand on your control panel, and we can bring you on live to ask the question to us directly. When you do that, we do ask that you have mobile phones switched off and TVs and radios either completely turned down or just pop them on standby for a moment. The reason being is sometimes we get feedback and it hurts our ears. So, just be aware, if you do want to ask in-person questions, we would love you to, but just turn other devices either off or down to avoid our ears being hurt. Thank you. So there will be information right at the end of this webinar on a forthcoming program that we're running, and ahead of that we're going to be giving you some action steps for those of you who have attended this webinar, how to take it forward so you can gain more clearing and really start to find out where you are in your relationship with money. So we're going to give you those action steps at the end of the presentation, because obviously, once we've cleared some energy, you're going to be thinking about things differently, you're going to be feeling about things differently. So I'm really looking forward to a great night. Are you, Sharon? If she's there.
You caught me out. I had
She's
myself on mute.
Normally it's me who does that.
Yeah. I was just replying to a few late coming emails there. Yes, absolutely. We are really looking forward to an exciting time. So I'm guessing you're handing over to me now, Susie, to do the disclaimer.
I'm going to hand over to you because, Sharon is going to run you through the disclaimer and through just some general tapping points. So over to you, honey.
Okay, so as always, we always put out a little disclaimer here. Just because this webinar, when we're asking the questions, you will find that things that you may not have thought would resonate with you will start to resonate with you. So we're going to be putting a lot of intention and attention on money issues. So we're going to ask you to take full responsibility for your emotional health during this call. I can't envision there's anything massive going to come up for people just because of the content, but you never know. So I would say probably a good 90% of the people that are signed up here are used to EFT. So I will go through the tapping points in a minute for anybody that's new to EFT, but I'm going to ask you to tap on yourself as we go through the webinar, especially when we start talking about those limiting beliefs, because it really helps you to tune in to your own issues, but it also helps you to clear your energy around them too. And again, a lot of you are EFT and matrix reimprinting practitioners, so find yourself a swap partner to work with. I'm sure you've all, got buddies that you do swaps with, and if you haven't, then maybe you should think of getting one, because it's a really good idea. Or you can also work with somebody professionally if any issues arises. So you can do paid sessions too. So I know both myself and Susie are open to that, and there's a lot of other really fabulous practitioners as well, either on this call or out there in the wide world. So that's just a little disclaimer. We really do want you to get the most out of this webinar, and we are going to be doing some clearings as we go along, but we can't do like the one-to-one clearings. We can only do the group clearings, which incidentally seem to work really well, just like borrowing benefits do. So for those of you that are new to EFT, then here's a little picture here that we've stolen from Carl Dawson. Here's a little picture of the tapping points. So we're just going to start, and you guys, that do know EFT, then, tap along as well with me. So if you just start off on the side of your hand and just tap there on what we call the karate chop point. And this is where in EFT that you do your statements, even those I've got, this issue of money, completely love and accept myself, or even though I'm feeling all this anger, all this sadness. This is kind of the part of that you actually state what's going on within you. And then the next point's the top of the head. And then the point after that is the beginning of the eyebrow, just there close to the nose, in between the nose and the eyebrow. And then you have the side of the eye, and you're just tapping really gently, probably around about between 5 to 7 times. And it also helps to remember to breathe as well. Don't hold your breath. Remember to breathe as you're tapping on these points underneath your eye. And then underneath your nose. And then there on the crease of your chin. And on your collarbone, or just under your collarbone point there. And you can do that on either side, or you can do both together. And then under your arm. So for men, it's in line with the nipple, and for women, it's the bra strap area. And then you've got the finger point. So on the side of your thumb there, as you can see, right on the side of the nail bed, and then the side of the other fingers. Now, throughout this webinar, I'm going to encourage you to either do the full round of points, but if you don't remember them or you feel comfortable with just one point, then choose a point that's good for you, or just do the finger points. Quite often I'll just sit there watching telly, or anything that I'm doing, I'll just tap through the finger points. And what this does is it really stimulates your energy system to get the emotion that you're hanging on to, get it moving through your system. So those are the EFT tapping points. So I hope everybody's good with those. Okay, Susie, back to you, my dear.
Okay. So a lot of you who have come on know a little bit about Sharon and myself, and we're not going to go into full depth biographies. It's just to give those of you who don't know a chance to sort of find out why we're running this webinar and what have we got to do with money. Well, my name's Susie Shamley. I'm the creator of Realize Your Dreams using EFT and matrix reimprinting, and I absolutely love helping people achieve what they want in life. And a lot of the time, Money is a big thing in that. So through developing techniques and incorporating a lot of money work into the realize your dreams side of it, Sharon and I have, put our skills together and really come together from each aspect of where we work. And I really look at, clearing the energy, focusing really on getting straight with money and taking that relationship to a new level. So for a lot of the work, it's coming forward and really being able to step into who you are. Now, as business has sort of evolved, if you like, I've been doing so much more work organically with EFT practitioners and EFT business, and Sharon and myself have run other programs, including, realizing your EFT business dreams. And I'm actually now, the book has kind of taken a different angle, and there will be a book coming out in April next year called Your EFT Business, Realizing Your EFT Dreams. Sharon and I really teamed up because we have opposite ends of the scale work. Sharon works with a lot of birth side of it, but I work with a lot of realize your dreams. But we meet so beautifully in the middle. We complement each other so well that you really get the best of both worlds. So I'm going to let Sharon tell you a bit more about who she is, and then we'll move on.
Yes, just before I talk a little bit about me, I think, Susie, the thing that we have got, that I think one of the reasons why we decided to do the business webinars as well, and this money one, is because we've actually walked the talk. We have been those setting up practitioners, because both of us have been doing EFT for about 7 or 8 years now. And we've been there, we've been where a lot of new practitioners are, and we've made a lot of mistakes. And we kind of would like to support people and help them not make those mistakes, and also notice how things have moved on since we first started as well, especially the online marketing and building your business online as well. So I think that's also why, the two of us together actually make quite a good team on helping people with their business, but also their money, because, we both have had and still are playing with, what money means to us. But I started off doing EFT and matrix reimprinting, and I said to Carl, you know what, I really want to work with everybody. I didn't want to specialize. I didn't want to have a niche. And about 2 years after saying that, and Carl bullying me, saying you really need to have a niche, I discovered that I absolutely loved working with people doing birth reimprinting, or the matrix birth reimprinting. That organically developed. And that's when my work really started to develop, when I really put my focus on helping people transform their experience of birth, whether that's their own birth experience or actually giving birth, and also supporting pregnant women through their pregnancy as well, and helping them to have a really empowered birth. But the other side of it as well is actually working with my life purpose work. So, looking at why we are here, and also working with past lives and ancestral clearing and all the kind of more shamanic type work as well. So I really love getting into that. And I am currently writing my first book. And it's interesting, it says it's the first book, because I've actually got ideas of a second book percolating. So I never thought I'd be saying that, although I never thought I'd be saying I'd be writing a book.
And I'll be honest, I didn't think she'd be saying that this year.
But my first book is called The Book on Birth, The Missing Piece, a new paradigm in conscious birthing. And that, like Susie's book that she's talking about, is, I'm hoping, going to be out around about April, May time. So, that's really, really exciting. And for the first time I've actually done one of these webinars, I can actually say, yeah, that's the deadline. That's when it's going to be out. So we've both been international trainers of EFT and matrix reimprinting, and our work is not only featured in what we could probably say is old matrix reimprinting book, but also Carl's new book on beliefs, transforming the beliefs and transforming our lives. And also the webinar series. For those of you that have been doing matrix reimprinting for a little while will know that Sasha Allenby did a whole year series of helping people do their go through and improve their matrix rim printing skills. So both of us were guest appearances on many of those webinars. So between us we have quite a lot of experience, don't we, Susie?
We do. Wow, yes. It's kind of dawning on me at this moment. We've been around the little FT block, as you may say.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, one of the things that, as you say, we really came together on the life purpose side of it. We did a webinar and we loved that, because I think that really, shows that, with Sharon's work taking it forward, as she said, we've walked our walk and we've talked our talk. And it really developed our skills in the sense of, Sharon really works through the clearing at such a deep level, and I like to work, towards the future at the deep level. So we really do have a great partnership, and we do our swaps. Ultimately, we have been manifesting, we have created the lives that we're really choosing, and even through these webinars, with the collective energy, things come up for us that we bookmark and we work with later. But we've really noticed over the past couple of years that money is bringing up so many issues for both our clients, for our friends, for ourselves. And the great thing, and certainly with Sharon's work, is I've done work myself about realizing my dreams. And this year, I will be honest, has been a very interesting year. And it was Sharon's birth work that really helped me get towards that one belief that Carl Dawson is now talking about. We really discovered it through a birth trauma. So for our purpose and our goals, we've kind of created this webinar to help everybody else, but also to give ourselves a little bit of a kick up the backside, to be honest. For the first one, we wanted something fun. We noticed there was so much going on financially for everyone, including ourselves, that we were going to put all our work together in a webinar. And wow, the transformation that happened not only for people on the webinar, but for ourselves was phenomenal. Now, we have our own goals, and as I say, we walk our walk. I set up as a practitioner in 2007 with minus figures in the bank. I'd been seriously ill. I was so much in debt. It was kind of unbelievable. And, I did everything to try and keep my house when I was ill, but I'd lost my business. I had no income. And I was literally, going from taking whatever work I could physically be capable of doing. And in fact, I actually worked for EFT master Carl Dawson for a couple of years. And so when I finally got that courage, I was starting with minus figures. I had bills, debts, credit card bills, you name it, going out. I had to take a secured loan on my house to keep my house, which was, almost the size of my mortgage. Now, I had to earn a lot of money every month, and I was literally just starting out in business. Through working with EFT and Matrix, through being out there and looking at the relationship that I had with abundance, it started to go forward. It started to become more joyful, more easy. And it took a while as we're learning and this work was developing, but I really did focus on abundance. And when I was overcoming illness, that was actually what I chose to focus on, not the illness. It was my relationship with outward things in the world and how ready, willing, and able I was to receive and to give. Now, my life took a very big turn in the fact that I really am realizing my dreams. From being told, in 2006, I would be lucky if I wasn't spending the rest of my life in a wheelchair, through going through, health scares along the way, to ending up, I now live in what I call my paradise. I love it here. I have the beach 5 minutes away. I have the most beautiful life here. But when we first sort of put this out early this year, it was, my goal was really about fully achieving financial freedom. And it was so joyful and it was so positive. And that was so April, because Sharon will tell you there's been tears, tantrums, traumas. Because I've stripped away so much of that onion, I really felt I was at the core. And money was bringing up my relationships aspects, all over the shop. You know, it really got me into the core of myself. And a lot of, you know, really being able to achieve what I want meant stripping down myself. And that's what I've actually been doing. A lot of people will notice I haven't really been about much this year. And that's because I've taken some time out to really become me. And I am literally 3 weeks away from selling my house in England, committing to a life here, which doesn't feel scary now I've said it, and, you know, really progressing forward. So for me, it's about, you know, having more control of my money, being able to enjoy that fruitful relationship of having more than enough. But it's taken a while to get here and a real journey within myself. So when we say we walk the walk and talk the talk, we really do mean it. So Sharon, you also, you know, when we created this webinar, you had your own goals in mind. Can you just tell us a bit about them?
Yeah, absolutely. At the time that we created this webinar, which was a couple of years ago now, I was working with clients probably about, well, 5 days a week, literally. And I was just thinking, you know what, how am I ever going to have time to write my book? Because working with that many clients, I think I was doing between 16 and 20 clients a week, which is quite a lot of clients. But I'm just thinking, well, I needed that money to keep going, but I also need to have time to write my book, which means that I can't work with so many clients. And I was just getting myself into that cycle. And also, to be honest with you, it was also a really good way of procrastinating and not getting on and writing my book until in the end, what I did, and I've actually still got the bit of paper I did it. Well, actually, it's one of those sticky whiteboard things that you put on your wall. Well, I actually wrote down to the universe, and I wrote this note to the universe saying, if this book is to come into reality, to physicality, I need to be financially supported. So support me. I trust you to support me. And, you know, it's really interesting, you know, that Susie was also talking about Carl's, you know, one you know, major belief that kind of runs everything else. I think trust and safety is probably mine. And it was like, okay, so all of a sudden I was asking myself to step up and trust the universe. Do I actually trust the universe to support me? Do you trust the universe to support you? Now, over the years, I've had many tarot readings or astrology readings, and each and every person has always told me when I've asked about money, they've always said, you know what, you're always going to have just enough. And for a long time, that really saw me through, you know, to be able to have that belief that I'm always going to be just okay. I'm always going to have just enough. And I'm starting to look at that now, going, actually, that is a limiting belief, because actually I want and desire more than just enough. I desire to have an abundance of money in my bank account so I can go off on holiday whenever I want to, so I can give money to charity if ever I want to. I can have money to publish my book. You know, and again, I'm back in that place of trust now because I've suddenly decided to self-publish my book. So there is like quite a lot of costs in order to get this book out here. But again, I'm reaffirming, rewriting that note to the universe saying, you know what? The book is halfway written. We have a deadline now, but I need somebody to design my cover. I need, you know, an editor. I need this, I need that. And I have all these people lined up. So now I need the abundance. I need the funds to actually write my book. So I'm going back into that place of trust. And, you know, some of you may know that I actually work very closely with the colour mirror bottles. And there's a bottle called Faith that's part half turquoise, half gold. Now that Faith bottle was the bottle that I used to leave my job. I had to really go into what is faith. Can I really have faith that I am going to be supported? And I tell you what, if you ask yourself that question, it brings up all sorts of things. So there you go. There's one to start with already. Can I have faith that I'm going to be totally supported? And what is it about this situation that I'm not getting? What do I need to look at about the situation I'm currently in? What is it reflecting to me? So there's a couple of questions that I've just given you there. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the importance of living in the question. Now, this comes from Access Consciousness. For a little while, both myself and Susie really got into learning the philosophy behind access consciousness, and we absolutely love their concept of living in the question. And I think once I explain it to you, for people who haven't already heard of access consciousness, I think you're going to love it too. It's about being in that universal flow. It's about being in that trust, being in that trust and faith, and living in the question. So as soon as we make a statement about something or a conclusion about something, we stop the energy. But when we ask a question, it's open. So questions enable the openness and possibilities. Now, one of the stories that really highlight this is a story that they tell in Access Consciousness. So this lady's in America. She's on the Access Consciousness course, and they teach her the question, how does it get any better? So it's either how does it get any better or how does it get any better than this? And this lady left the workshop. She looked down on the floor and she saw this dime on the floor, and she picked it up and she goes, oh, wow, how does it get any better than this? And then she goes outside of the building and she looks down and she finds a $10 bill on the floor. So she bends down, picks it up, and she goes, oh, wow, how does it get any better than this? She then goes to actually go towards the underground, which is the way that she was going to go home. And one of the other questions is, what else is possible? So she asked herself, what else is possible here? And she thought, well, you know what? I've got a $10 bill. I can get a taxi. So she hailed a cab, she got into a taxi, and the taxi took her back to her hotel. Now, if she'd have gone the underground would have taken her to the back of her hotel, whereas this taxi dropped her off outside the front door. And as she bends down to get out the taxi, she noticed something really bright and sparkly in the gutter. So she bends down and she picks up this bracelet, and it's a real diamond bracelet. So I'm going to ask you here, what does she say? And what she actually says is, it doesn't get any better than this. So can you see how coming to a judgment and conclusion that it doesn't get any better than this completely stopped her flow, her universal flow of manifesting and generating more money? So whenever something happens in your life, whether it be something positive or negative, something that you judge as positive or something you judge as negative, then instead of coming to a conclusion about what it means, just ask, how does it get any better than this? And what else is possible? You know, the what else is possible is a really great question. You know, if you're, for instance, you've gone to book in for a flight, and all of a sudden there's no seats on that flight. They've overbooked. And if you just say to the woman behind the counter, you know, well, what else is possible here? You know, this has happened a number of times, not this specific thing, but a number of times, you know, I've been blocked, something that I was expecting to do, I couldn't do. And you ask that question, what else is possible? Then people are more likely to want to help you. Instead of getting on your high horse and shouting at them and going, it's not fair, I paid for my ticket, they're more likely to go, oh, okay, so what else is possible here? And it gets them thinking about what else is possible. It gets you thinking about what else is possible, and it opens you up to the universe of what else is possible. And how does it get any better? When I first really started using this, I went to Australia and I spent the whole 2 weeks really focused on how does it get any better. I just said it in my head or out loud constantly over and over again, no matter what was happening. And I ended up going to stay in Adelaide, and one of my number one top things that I wanted to do on my bucket list was swim with dolphins. And I'm sat there, I'm looking at the sunset on the beach, just thinking, how does it get any better than this? And the lady that I'm staying with said, oh, you never guess, you know, what do you want to do tomorrow? We have a day off. Do you fancy swimming with dolphins? And it was like, oh my God, how does it get any better? That's number one on my bucket list of things to do. So I said, absolutely. We went out to on a cruise to swim with wild dolphins. We got to swim in the water 8 times with 8 different pods of dolphins, because each time we got in, I kept going, how does it get any better? How does it get any better? How does it get any better? And, you know, the guy that was leading the dive was saying, you know, we've never, ever had 8 times where people have been able to get, we've never found 8 pods of dolphins that people have been able to swim with. This is just amazing. And I just spent the whole 2 weeks just having such a phenomenal time because I constantly use that statement. So, if you take nothing else from this webinar, try living in the question and see how that opens up you to more possibility than you can ever imagine. And even if you think that you've got to that point that it can't get any better, don't even go there with your mind. Just goes, how does it get any better? And it will. Okay, I think enough said about that. Over to you.
And I'd really like
Susie.
to give you guys an exercise. Oh, sorry, can you hear me?
Yep, go for it.
Hello. Oh, yeah, cool. So I'd actually just like to give you an exercise on that. I've got a challenge for you. Now, when asking how does it get any better, now surrounding your money, I would like you to try a challenge for 3 days. That every time you pay for something, you ask, how does it get any better? That every time you receive money, either through your PayPal accounts, into your bank accounts, your check, your paychecks, your wage slips, ask, how does it get any better? When anybody gives you change for paying for something, how does it get any better? And for those of you who, like me, up until, very, very recently, I would like every time you open your credit card statement, your loan statements, your mortgage statements, anything to do with the bank, ask, how does it get any better? So I'd like you to try that for 3 days and just see how your energy starts to lift. Because the great thing about this question is that it starts to open your energy. And when you're doing that with money, you're actually opening an interaction with people. You're opening the interaction of exchange. And I'm going to go into a little bit more about that exchange side in a second. But it's really a worthwhile exercise that will lighten your energy. And the great thing is, as Sharon said, you ask that question when it's something positive, when it's something neutral, and when things aren't going right. Sharon and I, if we've got technical issues, there's gremlins in the systems, you can always hear us saying through gritted teeth, how does it get any better? What else is possible? And if you're requiring money for something, start by asking, how is it possible? How is it possible for this money to come joyfully and easily? Now practice those statements and you'll find that your energy opens up. You may have subconscious thoughts and thoughts coming to your head that give you that little bit of feedback to begin with. It takes practice to be able to shut your logical mind off from answering that question. Because you'll know the difference of your logical mind answering to inspired thought. So just have a bit of fun with that, and it would be really great in a couple of days after you've played with it, and treat it like a game, treat it like something that's fun, to really hear your thoughts about how you've got on. Because I'll be honest, I do this a lot of the time, sometimes I forget, but just by tonight, by going, walking into town, and I was really, like, I've got to walk in and I've got to get my dinner, but I really wanted my dinner. It's a Wednesday, the market's on, and a lady there does the most fantastic, like, cheese and spinachy pancake things. And I was just sort of walking in saying, how does it get any better? And she looked at me and she just said, you come here every week. Why? I said, well, this is my dinner. I said, I love the way you do this. They're the best in town. And how it got even better was she gave me one for free. Yay! Because I've never tried her potato one, said I'll try that next week. So I now have my dinner for tomorrow night as well. So it got a lot better. And even then I was asking, how does it get any better? Because I was valuing that. I was valuing the exchange and asking, how does it get any better, as I was taking the walk in, avoiding all the trucks packing up and general busyness of Turkish life on market day. And, it really did get a lot better. So, just have fun with this question. But she received in it, I saw her receive the value of that somebody really appreciated what she was doing. She just wasn't a market seller. Somebody was coming specifically for her food. You could see her shoulders open up, her face light up. So, when you have that interaction, this is why we call it a relationship, is it's so much more than money. So with the history of money, why is money the way that it is? Well, actually, money has always just been born from an exchange or barter system. In the olden days, it was livestock for the goods that were wanted. And then that progressed, but it was always something you gave something of value for what you were trying to obtain, because obviously what you were trying to obtain had value to you. So it was an exchange of value. And it was first off in China when they started using cowrie shells. That was the first sort of medium of exchange, and then it became more into metal. And it wasn't until 500 BC that, pieces of silver started to be used in the Mediterranean, Turkey, and then improved on by the Greek, the Persian, and the Romans. But it was the Romans that started to put a lot of energy into money. They started to realize that the more money they had, the more they could obtain, and that money was a source of power. And when you look back in history, the Roman Empire really changed the way that we looked at money. It actually gave it its name. And they had a goddess and a temple. They really, really, put across the fact that they had a protectress of the funds, a temple where the goddess was worshipped, but the Roman Empire expanded and expanded. And when you look back at the history of the Romans, they got around the world, to be honest. They had one very large empire. And our current words for money are derived from their goddess. So we use mint, we use the word money. But emotional attachment really came in through the Roman Empire. Money equaled power. The whole consciousness and energetic status around money started to change. So honey, could you just flip the screen for me, please? Now I'm going to ask you why that is important. When we look at the history, money was always a trade system. And actually, when we look today, it's still a trade system. We use money to buy and trade in goods and services. The only difference is that we tend to use paper now more. So either by a check or by a note, by a cash, we still use metal, as in coins. But we also have electronic payment. So funds magically appear in PayPal, or funds magically appear or disappear within your bank account. So the world has progressed on with our means of that exchange. But with that has still come more and more emotional attachment. So as the world evolved, we placed more emotion, more belief systems into money. And, over the past few years, money has so many opinions with it within worldwide. We had the recession, yet again, a different recession, but there was a lot more contempt, there was a lot more hurt within the banking series. There was such a global impact. And that is now, attaching itself to the money we physically touch, the money that magically transfers itself into a bank account. But we attach value. We attach worth. Just think about somebody who is a multimillionaire or multi-billionaire. And imagine that person and how you feel and what you think towards them. Then picture somebody who has no money, who doesn't have clothes to put on their back, who doesn't have food to feed themselves. And how do you feel towards them? We attach such value, and value is the wrong word actually. We attach judgment, we attach thought, our thought processes We have opinions on what money is doing to each of those people. And we bring that in to our very living rooms. You know, I had, you know, when we talk about exchange, I actually had a beautiful teacher, and she had some money and worth issues, all to do with her career actually. But she was an amazing teacher of languages. And at that time I was looking to learn German. And she had, bless her, skills that she was looking to develop. She was actually an actress, wanted to really make it in acting, but had taken on a role as a teacher to be able to pay her bills, because she really believed that, you know, you have to struggle first to become an actress. So when we were talking about this, I said, okay. I said, look, I would love to continue working with you, but ultimately this is a luxury for me. I said, you know, I would really, you know, if you'd like some sessions. And she said, you know, I'd love to do some sessions, but I can't afford you. You know, there's such a difference in our rates. And I said, well, look, if you'll do me a session, I'll do you a session. How about that? We swap. She said, I couldn't do that. I said, why not? It's a fair exchange. She said, no, it's not. She said, I charge £12 an hour. You charge £75 an hour. Sorry, so she charged £12 for 45 minutes. And I said, okay, well, how about we do an hour's German session and I'll give you an hour's session. And she said, no, I couldn't do that because of the value. And I said, well, I'm going to be honest, I'm not quite understanding this. I said, and she said, no, you charge a lot more. That's not fair to you. And I had to sit her down and say, hang on, I'm offering you time for time. Something that's enjoyable, because I really, really enjoy the exchange with you. Your skills are phenomenal within teaching languages. My skills, pretty good within EFT. So why don't we put our skills and our time together? I said, the money side of it, you know, is, in my opinion, null and void, because we're working on an exchange time for time. In my opinion, and we did do a session on it with her and she came okay, was at what point was her time less valuable than my time? Because that's what it came down to, was we were exchanging time and skill sets. Money can bring up such worth issues, such judgments, such conclusions. And globally, that is now happening all over the world. We're tuned into a collective energy. So with the world at the moment, the energies are changing around money so quickly. We have everything that's gone in with the banking side. So there's heightened money worries, there's heightened money concerns. It's being projected through politicians worldwide. There is a whole global banking system that is now, you know, really reliant on every country in the world being there. Sorry, honey, I realised I'm still rabbiting. Could you flip the screen, please? Thank you. And, you know, there's a lot of powerful global fear around money. Is there enough? Have we got enough? Why are we spending on this when we need to have that? There's not enough money for this. We are all connected. You know, we all have our individual fields. We all pick up on this. And we tune in to the matrix that is the universe. You know, if you think right now, our energetic fields are all intermingling with one another around the world, you know, and we're going to be doing clearings, so that's phenomenal when that happens. But we are all connected. And we're tuned in to this big money machine, if you like. You know, money makes the world go round because it's in exchange for goods and services. So how many of your own fears and limiting beliefs are you projecting onto something that is simply an exchange? I love this, one of the analogies that I've heard through Access, which is, money doesn't grow on trees, and that belief. Well, actually, that was one of my own beliefs. And that analogy, they actually stripped down is money is paper. Paper comes from trees, therefore money may not grow on trees, but money are trees. When we have these beliefs, we can strip them down. We can think about things with possibility. There is so much more opportunity and possibility, as you all know, when we take away limiting beliefs and fears. And that's, exactly the same with money. And that needs to be done whilst just trying to create the relationship. The clearing needs to happen. So as I ask Sharon to flip the screen again, I'm going to ask you a question of what negativity do you have attached to money? Where do you feel that your negativity is attached to money? And we're going to ask you to send in your thoughts and your feelings and, over the next 2 slides. So if you're able to use those chat boxes, Sharon has the power. But do you feel money controls you? Or do you feel that money is being used as a form of control?
I like the question. Do you work for money or does money work for you?
Yes.
So all the time you're working for money, the money has the control.
And money has the power. I used to be fabulous at giving money all my power. And it's amazing, isn't it, that all your self-power, your self-empowerment, your self-control, you give to a piece of paper. I was a master at that for years.
Oh, Leslie's saying money gives you power.
Ooh.
And money makes the world go round.
What if money was just empowering and offered choice of possibility? I think Sharon and I both have attached this one, limiting our true potential. Something about 2 people trying to struggle to write books, having to pay the bills whilst doing it. But you know what, being seriously, how many clients have come to me and said, I can't realize my dreams because I've got a mortgage to pay. Do we give money the power to limit our potential?
Yeah, I never did get to finish my story on that as well. Just realised, just saying, like now I work for 2 days a week with clients, and I got a massive payout from one of those PPI things. So that gave me the ability to cut down on my clients while I take the time out to write my book. So
Yes, and since I've been stripping away my onion layers, I never mentioned either, I now work a split day. So anybody who's with me on Facebook gets to know that I tend to work the mornings, I work in the later afternoons, but come 12:30, 1:30, depending on how quick I am and how quickly that coffee kicks in the morning, I'm actually swimming and walking the beach and taking time out to have coffee with my friends, which was all on my list. And if I choose to, I have 2 days a week where what I choose to do is up to me. And since I've actually given myself that freedom, that book has now come into fruition because it's a passion of mine. And there's no sitting there going, I can't write a book because I don't have the money. The money has been completely stripped away just because I've empowered myself. So do you use money to limit your true potential? Have you got judgments about your money? Do you attach judgment to money? Are you judging others for money?
Oh, yes, there's a lot of judgment on others, especially when they have money.
Do you know what my mum's best one? It took me years to try and clear this. Money doesn't make people happy. Just because they have money doesn't mean they're happy. That was her favourite saying of all time. We used to live in an area in the south of England where a lot of TV personalities used to live. There were very big houses and beautiful area. And I think she'd probably say it about 3 times every day. They may have money, doesn't mean they're happy. So that brings up also about equality. You know, I mentioned the story earlier about my German teacher myself. Do you judge people differently about equality if money's attached to it? Are you judging yourself differently? If somebody was to offer you time for time on a swap, would you see that was equal if they had a higher price tag attached to their work? And are you attaching your self-worth to money? Are you good enough for your clients to be able to pay you? And I love Carl Dawson's story on this, where he was actually offering Reiki. It was before his EFT days, and he messed up an advert in the paper. And instead of putting Reiki sessions £20, he put Reiki sessions £200. And when people started phoning in offering to pay him £200, he would go, oh, no, you know, I can't accept that, no, my sessions are £20. He didn't feel worthy of that money, and actually nobody booked with him when they found out it was £20. There was a complete incongruence in his worth with it. So if you made a mistake with your rates and it had an extra naught attached to it, and people phoned you and said, I want to book in a session, would you tell them they've got the wrong price, or would you say, wow, they must, you know, really value what I'm offering and accept the money? And we tie up a lot of injustice and punishment with money.
We're taught that right from an early age, though, aren't we? You know, our first experience of money really is pocket money. And if you don't tidy your room, you don't get your pocket money.
Yes, for those of you who've heard of the webinars on the business or the money, my dad gave me so many money issues in regards to pocket money. You know, I heard my friends, they had to do chores around the house for money, had to learn the value of money. I actually was never asked to do that. My father, you know, asked me why I wanted it. But I had to go and ask my dad every month for it. And it was always, oh, I'll forget, I'll sort it out later. The first 2 months was perfect, but the first time he ever gave me pocket money, he walked me down to the post office, put it in a savings account, and told me I couldn't touch it. And I was, you know, bright enough at that time to think that wasn't the aim of this. I actually was looking to have an experience with money where I could learn freedom and spending and what it was like to have a bit of control with money. But it was funny actually, because even now I can remember the post office had bars. So it was kind of like going up to these bars and having to hand over my money, never to see it again. And then my dad would forget, and I'd go 6 months, and then I'd sort of build up the guts to ask him for money again, which was really scary. And he'd go, well, I've given you some, haven't I? And it was like, Dad, that was 6 months ago. Oh, well, okay, we'll go to the post office. He never kind of really got the concept, bless him. But he you know, provided me some tapping issues for it. And to me, that really did bring up injustice. And it actually culminated, I mean, seriously, it sounds pathetic, but it culminated when I was about 11, 12 years old. All my friends were going off down to Woolworths, and which was a big shop, and getting some sweets for dancing. I could never join in. I felt like I felt excluded. And at that time, my dad had been made redundant. And I went up to him and said, look, Dad, can I have some money, please? Because everybody's going down there. I really want to go down. I just want to be a part of things. And he turned around and said, oh, I just feel like you're always asking me for money, which is his issues. And I just blew. I was, you know, really wanting, I was really upset. And I said, you never do this. You never give me any money. I said, I'm really sick of this. I just want my own money. And the slap across the face could be heard all around the car park and in the building. And that was how that came to an end. You know, was the fact that from then on it was like, right, I'll go find my own money. I'll start working for money. That fight and flight from that experience meant I decided if I wanted money, I had to work. And I had to get creative around work. So pocket money can bring up so many issues of injustice, especially when you ask a teenager to. No teenager wants to do anything around the house for money. And if you have got teenagers that do things around the house, yay to you. How does it get any better?
Okay, Henry, I've got lots of comments coming in here, so I'm just going to pick a few of them just because I'm aware that it's of the time here. We still have so much more to share with you. So, Beth is saying here, always someone else's rather than mine. And Leslie saying, money makes me feel rich and then I can go out and buy more things. Okay, and we've got, having been so in debt, I feel I want to hold it away from authorities that take it away. So yeah, actually going into that need to hide money. And when you go into that energy, can you feel how that kind of like just draws everything in, and it really feels that fear with that comment there, that fear around money. And just a very quick one with authorities, which I'm going to trust you all with this information. Should I say this? Okay, I'm going to say this.
It is recorded, honey.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, paying bills with money. I had a bill, and I'm not going to say what bill it was, but it was like £2,500, and I really didn't have the money. So I had a friend who helped me recreate the information that bill was based on, and we got it down to £800. And I can't tell you how joyful and easy it was just to pay that £800 instead of the 2,500. And I just thought, you know, every time that I have a bill now, no matter what the price is, no matter what the authority is, whether it's the gas bill, the electric bill, the council tax, or the mortgage, when you actually see what it is that you're receiving for that money, then if you can give that over joyfully and easily, then you're going to invite more money in joyfully and easy.
You do. My little man at the post office here thinks I'm crazy because my bills here that I deal with in cash instead of, you know, direct debit in the UK, they're obviously a lot lower here, a lot lower. And I appreciate, I think, more because I have to pay for it. And as he said, I'm the only one who, you know, sometimes my electric bill could have been on the board downstairs for about half an hour, and I've whizzed down, and I always stand there smiling, happy to pay my bills. You've never seen such confusion on a man. And he just laughs and he said, she's always happy about giving us money. She's always happy about paying her bills. I don't understand her. The thing is, when you have that value attached to it and that exchange, you know, and trust me, when you're in 45-degree heat, you don't mind paying for the air conditioning. It's a joy to pay for the air conditioning. There's a whole different value attached to it, and he thinks I'm balmy, but as you say, it becomes joyful and easy.
Yeah. Jill's come up with the money burns a hole in your pocket, which is one
Ooh.
that my nan always used to say about my brother, and it's absolutely true. He can any money that he ever has, he has to get rid of as quickly as possible. When my father died, he left us both an inheritance, and within a week he'd got rid of the whole lot. He just had to. He went into a blind panic and he spent the whole lot. And it's like it took me a year to get through it. So, and even that was quite quick. Okay, so Joanne's saying definitely money is the power, and I am powerless to have any. That's a nice little phrase there to tap on, Joanne. And Cheryl saying, up to this point, I have been trapped in a feeling that money is hard won and hard work and a heavy burden. Ooh, be good to get to the bottom of that one, Cheryl, and get rid of that. Oh, Jill's coming up with another good one. Money goes to money. Yeah, money attracts money. And Terry's saying, people with money are not very loving in the power they have. This does not reflect who I am. Okay, so judgment again there about people who have money. Dervla saying, limiting our true potential, yes. Okay, so I'm just going to read a couple of more here, though there's loads of them. Leslie saying, I felt I can't do fun things because it costs money, and if I don't want to pay money for things, that may be a waste of time. So looking at your judgment about what's a waste of time there. Okay.
Okay, and I'm just wondering, I know we're going on to the next slide, but when you tune into these, what's the emotions that are behind it for you?
Sorry.
Apparently for Sharon, it's laughter.
Oh, I'm just reading Melanie's here. She says, I will smile when I pay my private car park fine. Yeah. How does it get any better, Melanie? Yeah, I had to do that too. I had £125 fine that I had to try and smile through as well. Avril saying, don't ask because I can't afford it. So yeah, you guys have got some really good beliefs around money here. So might be worth you just really tapping into what the emotion is there. And we're going to do an energy clearing in a minute, Susie. So do you want to just do the slide first?
Yeah, literally, it's just tuning you in a little bit more. When you think about the things that you've been coming up for you, what is it bringing up for you? Is there fear behind it? Is there jealousy? Money goes to money. Envy. Perhaps disgust. Perhaps shame. Looking at, I got my parking fine. Is there shame around the money? Is there shame for having too much? Is there shame for not having enough?
Yeah.
So what emotions are coming up for you?
So just start tapping on the side of your hand here and just take a few deep breaths. Breathing in for the count of 5 and out for the count of 5. And then we're going to ask you to tune in to your body. Where in your body are you feeling the energy of the emotion when we're talking about money? Where are you feeling that fear, the shame, sadness, anxiety, hurt around money? Where are you feeling it in your body? And as you're tapping, I'm going to ask you to tune in a little bit more into that money, that energy around money. I'm going to ask you to put a colour. If there was a colour to that energy, what would it be? What colour is that energy? What is the colour of that blocking emotional energy. And then I'm going to ask you, what color do you need to come in and lift and lighten that emotion? Lift and lighten that color, that stuck energy there in your body, whether it's in your chest or your pit of your stomach or in your throat, wherever it is. What color do you need to come in? And there's no right or wrong answer here, just whatever color you're drawn to. And then I'm going to ask you to use that clearing energy to send down your timeline right the way back to the beginning, to the root of where this feeling or this belief around money came from. And just follow that energy right the way back through your childhood. And you may get lots of other memories along the way, but we want to go back to the first one. You know, some of you may go back even into the womb, because most of the time these beliefs don't even belong to us, they belong to somebody else. So if any of that emotion or any of that belief doesn't belong to you, then I'm going to ask you now to return it to sender with consciousness, or release it to the universe. And just notice if that energy lightens up within your body. It's not yours to be holding, it's somebody else's. And then to start tapping on your finger points for me, or on your favourite spot, as you start tuning into your younger self. Your younger self that was first feeling that emotion, that created that belief around money. And just notice, what's the first thing you're sensing about them? What are they feeling? How much of that energy is left in their bodies? And where are they feeling it? And what colour is that energy for them? And if there's a colour that could come in and lift and lighten and help them release that energy, what would they need? And if you found that you're not able to access a younger part of yourself that holds this energy, and you're just here in the here and now, then keep tapping around those points, bringing in the energy, the colour that you need to clear. You might just want to state the emotion or the belief that you have as you tap around those points. For those of you who have access to memory, then just do a little bit of tapping with your younger self. Tap on those EFT points, telling them they're safe, and giving them any knowledge and wisdom and understanding that you have as your older self. What do they need to hear from you? And what do they say in return to you? Maybe they have some advice for you now the energy started moving. Just take a few moments just to work with your younger self. And then when you're ready, just thank them for being there, for holding that energy. You may have a sense that there's more to do there, so just let them know that you will be back to work with them again. Just for now, just wrap them up in a blanket of beautiful coloured energy, a colour that they need for safety. And then slowly bring yourself back to this time and space. Use your breath. Take those deep breaths. Okay. So I hope you managed to get some insights on at least where your money belief was created. And some of you, I hope, will have been able to release that energy and transform it. Others, there'll be more work to do. And some of you may feel more comfortable working with somebody else with this, and that's fine too. Okay, so just for time, Susie, I think we're not going to have time to go into how everybody's doing here, but if anybody has anything that they need to share or would like to share really quickly, then we've just got a few moments here.
Yeah, and it'd be great if you could share with us, and then we can stop on at the end and give that extra time to go through these comments. We're just aware that your time is precious to you as well, and so we'd like to make sure that we give you the content.
Okay, back to you, Susie.
Okay, so I have a question for you. And I love this question because it brings some fun dynamics into how we look at our relationship with money. So if money was your lover, what would you be saying to him or her? This question is taken from Access Consciousness, and the first time I ever heard it, to be honest, I didn't really get it. And I sat with it just for a little while and thought, what amazing possibilities this question can bring, especially tuning it in with Matrix. It brings up a lot of emotional feelings. It gives us insight in towards our relationship. We've said here that money reflects, our relationships. And this is where this really comes into fruition. Money is an exchange tool. It reflects our outside interactions with the world. And so, what would you be thinking if money was your lover? What would you be saying? So just take a moment and picture money as your lover. So as you gain that picture, what are you thinking?
I love Mana's comment here. She says, I love you. You may come and go as you wish.
Ooh, a lot of freedom in there. Fantastic. Sharon, if you could just flip the screen for me. I know you've got chat messages coming in, but we'll just run through some things that may not be, on what we call the healthy positive scale. If there was a negative thing you were thinking towards your money lover, that sexy little beast you've got with you right now in your mind, what would you be thinking? Is there a possibility you're thinking, you're not there for me, you're never there for me? Why don't you love me enough to show up more? Perhaps there's no communication between us. Could be I want something, you want something else. Or I want this and you never listen to me. Perhaps it's I don't trust you to be around for me.
That was mine.
Yep.
I trust you enough for there to be just enough, but not for there to be more than enough.
Does that bring feelings, I can't forgive you. You broke my trust and I can't forgive you. Could be, where have you been? Where are you now? And there's one, I've given up so much just to have you. Have you been working long hours? Have you been doing so much just so you could have that money? Are you looking at your money lover and thinking, you know what? You just don't make me happy. And my personal favorite, you are cheating on me with the bills.
And mine.
And in previous webinars, I've actually just discussed that, on the fact that, it always seemed to be going with the bills. I was jealous and envious of the bills. And it was this year when I really, actually very, very recently, when I looked at the fact of, with my money, reflected my emotional relationships. I always joked about it before. But in my personal life, you know what? I always attracted men who would end up cheating on me. And that's how I felt. There was a belief within money, within our family, that if you had money, something would come and take it away. Something would require fixing or breaking, or you need something new. But whenever you got money, it would be taken away from you. It was a reflection of really what did happen in my romantic relationships. I felt my money was cheating on me with the bills. There seemed to be more and more bills. I'd get more and more money, I'd earn more bills would come. And actually, the new belief that kind of dawned on me very, very recently is that was always to do with work. I always felt that work took away the family that I loved, because they needed to work for the money. So for my money lover, it was, you cheating on me with the bills. For Sharon's, she didn't trust her sexy little money lover. What's coming up for you? What thoughts, feelings, or emotions is this bringing up?
I've got some good ones here. Shirley
Yay.
saying, I can't get enough of you.
Grrr.
And Beth saying, let's touch each other a lot.
Woohoo!
And Avril saying, to my money lover, I would say smother me.
Ooh.
And Beth's also saying, you stay away too often. Oh, yes, Mona, where were you when I most needed you?
Yes. And how has that left you feeling?
No. And another one from Diane saying, you come and go. You might be here now, but you won't last. Shirley saying, you won't always make me happy. Okay, and one more. Diane saying, if I rely on you, you'll betray me.
Which actually brings us perfectly, thank you, honey, straight into our next slide of do you feel betrayed by your money? When you think about these negative aspects and the fact that you want positive aspects but they're not there, what's that negativity holding back? Is it rejection, hurt, perhaps pain or sorrow, anger, the injustice of it all? So we're going to ask you to tune in and just start tapping, because what we want to do is really help you to think about what you would like to be preferring to say to your money, your money lover, and we're going to start helping you to create that. So Sharon, I'm going to hand back to you.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you now to just tune into those feelings. That feeling of not deserving, of betrayal, of hurt, rejection and pain and sorrow. And we're just going to do a little bit of energy clearing on that. So tapping on the side of your hand, and just take a few deep breaths for me. And again, tuning into the energy. Where in the body are you feeling it? Where are you feeling all those beliefs and the emotions? And what colour is that energy? Maybe it has some shape and form. Maybe it's heavy. Maybe it's moving. Maybe it's stuck. And I'm going to ask you again if there was a colour that you could bring in to lift and lighten that energy. And bring that energy, that colour energy in now. Breathe that energy through and tap around the points, either on your finger points or the main EFT points if you know them. And just do a couple of rounds there, just so this energy starts getting shifted. And then I'm going to ask you now to visualize what your money lover would look like. If you were to open the door to your money lover, what would he or she look like? Or what would it look like? Is it there bouncing up and down on your doorstep? Is it trying to run away? Is it invisible? I'm going to ask you to sit down and have a conversation with your money. Ask your money how you can work this out. So money feels welcome to come in. How welcoming do you feel to money on your doorstep? What would it take to have money step over your threshold, to want to be there, to want to stay? Maybe you have more emotion coming up as you see money there on your doorstep. So just tap around the points and allow that emotion to flow freely. Don't hold on to it. You've held it long enough. Talk to money. Tell money how it makes you feel. Confide in money and see how money responds. And some of you may be really clear with money, and money's already come in and you're having a party upstairs. And money can invite its friends. More money. And some of you may still be negotiating with money on your doorstep, or still looking for it. Wherever you are with money, that's okay. Because you can come back and visit this picture at any time. You can party with money. You can negotiate with money. You can communicate with money. You can just sit and be with money. But all the time, just have your awareness on how money makes you feel and how comfortable money feels with you. So you can now take this forward into the future. And if the energy of money had a colour to it, what would it be? Money was exuding a colour. Take that energy into your body as much as you can allow it to be. Allow money to share colour or sound with you. Maybe money wants to give you a big hug. How open to receiving that are you? So thank your money for showing up. And tell your money that you're going to keep communicating with it, with him or her. That you're going to become really good friends, really good buddies. And you're going to work it out together. And then when you're ready, take a few deep breaths and bring your awareness back to this time and space. Okay, Susie, are you there?
I am. Now I've taken myself off mute.
Okay, so just so people are aware, we're going to go a few minutes over time. We're already at 8:30, so we apologise for that, but I hope you're having fun. So we've only got a few more slides to go, haven't we, Susie? So, and then we'll stay on afterwards and do your questions and comments as much as we can.
So it'd be really interesting if you wouldn't mind taking a few minutes just to ask, what will you be preferring to say to your money now? And was there a plan that you could, really make with your money, even be it that you were going to go back and, build that relationship energetically with them, keep continuing to clear that energy between you and your money lover? What would you like to be saying to your money? And really think about this as sort of a thing for about a week in the future. Give yourself a time limit. Would you like to be saying thank you for being in my life? We are so great together and I have so much fun with you. How about having that trust and being able to say you are always there for me? Or perhaps, you are just so sexy. So really think about what you would like to be saying to your money, that relationship that you would like, and set that as a goal to be working towards. Because this is why I love, love, love this exercise. And when I work with people one-to-one, I really do spend time working with the identity of money, which is featured in the book. Because there is so much there about that relationship when we put it into the identity of a partner. Somebody who we love, somebody who we're, having that sexy relationship with. When you're in that sexy relationship, you don't want to be feeling, devalued by that person. You don't want your money not valuing you, and you don't want to be turning around to your money saying, not tonight, dear, I've got a headache. You want it to be fun and joyful.
Avril, sorry, Susie, Avril's saying here, money is a gold energy raining down on me with abundance, making me feel freedom and limitless and abundant.
Fantastic. How does it get any better? Okay, so because we're conscious of time, I'm just going to run through a great action plan. Now, some of you may be joining us on a program we're about to tell you about. I know some of you have, bless you, already signed up, and we're really looking forward to running it. But a lot of you on here have, preempted this webinar and sort of brought up the questions of debt. And it is something we really do cover in this program, a new program where we take you from start to finish in your relationship with money. So if you do have debt, what negative feelings is that bringing up for you? And start working through those negative feelings. Write them all down. And there's a great thing about activating the brain, which activates the emotion system. Write it all down. And it also gives you a checklist, to be honest, to work through and tick off. How does that debt make you feel? And once you've worked through those feelings, then write down all your debt. Do not guesstimate it. Actually look it up and write it down. And it doesn't matter if you've only got sort of £20 here on a credit card, or $30 here on a catalogue. Write down whatever you owe to anybody or anything. Could be for your car, it could be loans or overdrafts. We will be doing a lot of clearing attached to the judgments and the negative emotions in the second part of the program. But this is a really useful exercise, because even if you choose not to join us on the program, you're going to be able to identify how you feel around the debt. You'll be able to see links and ties to other issues in your life. And all that negativity it's bringing up to you, you'll start to see that money is just a reflection. And you'll get some great transformative work done through just doing this exercise. As I say, it doesn't matter if you've got lots of noughts that are going down on a piece of paper. Trust me, the first time I did, there was a lot of noughts. But if you've only got, say, like one extra nought or something, still do it and see how it makes you feel. You'll be surprised at what comes up. And talking of our program, a lot of you are aware we're going to be running a program. It's a 4-part webinar. We have run it previously, but we're just going to take a moment for those of you who are interested in taking this work further, more in depth, being able to do demonstrations with us, so coming on live and working with us, having group clearings as well. We're just going to take you through what the program actually entails. So you are going to be gaining practical tools and energetic processes where you can really unlock the areas of your life where there's limitations. And we're going to introduce you to new ways of thinking, feeling, and being with money. And as we mentioned there, we're going to be looking at changing your relationship with debt, but changing your relationship with the emotions surrounding that not having any money, that owing of money, and what it brings in and what it's reflecting in your life. Because we're all about the emotions and money. And we start the process with a lot of clearing. Then we get into some planning, some figuring out. Then we get into some juicy, juicy goodness of really building that positive, joyful relationship. So we do look at stopping the freak out about money and addressing those limiting beliefs. We also look at your relationships of what you have to do to gain money. How easily, joyfully does money just show up in your life? Or do you feel, no, I've got to go out and earn it. I've got to go fetch it. I've got to go find it. Realistically, how joyful and easy does money just zing into your life? We're also going to be looking at identifying your point of views on earning money, your motivation for making money. So we're really going to get into, your money, your goals, your dreams. And in order to do that, we're going to have to start tripping away, and this is where Sharon's work comes in so beautifully, at your family's judgments on money. What are your generational impacts on money? What did great-great-great-great-great-great-granny from times gone by, did she have something that happened in her life that is still impacting your life today because of the energy, the beliefs, and the lessons and judgments that came down that family line. And we're going to be looking a lot about the self-worth issues around money. You know, if somebody wants to pay you lots and lots of money for your services, or wants to gift you money for being nothing other than yourself, would you feel that worth to say yes? So we're going to be challenging yourself and money. You know, can you confidently charge what you're worth? Can you ask for money easily and joyfully? And when you receive money, do you feel confident with it? When you've got money, do you feel that confidence to know what to do with it? To know how you want to have fun with it? To trust that freedom with it? So we're really going to be looking at building those positive relationships and creating that, exactly, a relationship with your money, a friendship, a partnership, where you and your money work together for ease and joy, and hopefully have a whole lot of fun doing it. So I absolutely love this program, and I know, Sharon, you love it too. So I am so looking forward to it. And Sharon, just in case I've missed anything, is there anything else on there that we should know about on the program, or have I pretty much covered the content side of it?
I think you covered the content pretty much. Yeah, it's a pretty much joyful and easy and fun webinar to be part of as well. And as you've probably already realised, we do tend to over deliver. So you are going to have 4 nights of a lot of information, but also a lot of clearings. And you know, we just love working together and sharing this information with you. So if you're interested in joining us, then we're going to be doing it over the evenings. It starts on a Tuesday evening, the 21st of October, and we're running right the way through to the 24th, and we're going to start at 6 o'clock UK time. I thought it was 7 o'clock. Is that right, Susie? 6 o'clock?
I believe so. That was what we did last time, and now you've completely confused me, but I'm sure it is.
Okay, let's go for 6 o'clock, and that'll be fine. So we go from 6 o'clock UK time to 7:30, so it's an hour earlier than we did today. And we're going to have a special offer that's only open for 48 hours. So it's going to be £99. If you want to sign up after the 48 hours, then I believe it was £149. So within the 48 hours, you've got a chance to either pay the full amount in one, or you can even pay over 2 instalments of £49.50 each. And this is going to include all the recordings. You're also going to get the recording of this webinar that we're doing now as well, so you can go over this one as many times as you want to. But also, as an extra bonus and an added incentive for you to sign up within that 48 hours, a little while ago, I actually ran a webinar called Needs versus Values. And this webinar came about after doing the Speak, Write, Promote conference at Hay House with Cheryl Richardson. And she got us to look at what we thought were our values. And actually, they turn out to be needs. Now, there's a completely whole different energy between values and needs. And if you're working on what you think is your values, but you're coming across in that needy energy, then you come across differently to people. You know, how much do you value money and how much do you need money? So that webinar that I did actually really helps you, you know, tie in looking at your needs energy versus your value energy. And I did a fab demo, and Susie, I think you were my demo person for that webinar as well. So
I was. So all of you who have, you know, we've worked on you, and I've given exercise homeworks to. You can get your own back by listening to me and going through it. Yeah, it's an absolute fabulous call, to be honest. And I know I'm going to say that because I'm giving it out, but genuinely, that was phenomenal information. It took me to a deeper level within my purpose, and you know, you will gain a lot from that. That in itself, to be honest, is worth the £99 in my opinion, but that's the value that I attach to it.
Oh, bless you.
But you can definitely find out more at susieandsharon.com. And I know Sharon's going to send that out to your chat box so
Yeah.
that you can check in there and come in and sign up and join us, because it will be 4 nights of fun. Yes, we're going to be working with your issues, but it's 4 nights of fabulous fun. And as I say, my value to that bonus webinar, when Sharon suggested that we gave a bonus, because obviously, when we know you're signing up, it's joyful and easy for us. We're able then to focus more of our time on providing best for you. And when she said that, it was like, oh yeah, they're going to love that. It was awesome.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you. I loved it when Cheryl Richardson did it, and to be able to tie it all in with EFT and Matrix made it even more amazing. So that's enough about our programs. If you have any questions about the programs, now the time to pop them in the question box. Carol's are saying, thank you, Sharon and Susie. Had a deep emotional shift at the end there. Magic. Thank you again, Carol. Carol, you're very, very welcome. And we have so many comments here. We will take time to go through them and look at them afterwards. Richard saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're very welcome, Richard. But for now, if there's anything new, anything that you would like to share, that would be great, to save me going back over the hundreds of messages that we've had coming in over the program. Just off the top of my head, there was a couple about attracting clients into your life that don't have the money to pay you. That really is, really good time to look at how much you value what you do and your own self-worth. So if you're getting an abundance of clients like that, then that's a time to look at what that is mirroring and reflecting to you. So Leslie's saying thanks, you're very welcome. Flavia's saying thank you, you're very welcome. Oh, Deb's saying I love you. Thank you, ladies, you're welcome. Thank you, Janet. So lots of thank yous coming in. Thank you, Tim, saying thank you. Some powerful content and valuable information about the access consciousness questions in particular. Glad you enjoyed it, Tim. We really, as I say, we love the questions and we use them all the time. So keep using them. How does it get any better, and what else is possible? And how joyful and easy can this be? Oh, brilliant. Shirley saying, thank you, Susie and Sharon. My money came in the form of a fun leopard. Beth saying, many thanks, dears. Grateful, and will keep you posted on my hour. I direct the International Trauma Abatement Project outcome. Okay, brilliant, Beth. Yeah, keep us posted on that. And let us know when you have a link to that, and we'll put that out on Facebook for you too. And Beatrice is saying, thank you very much. You're very welcome. Oh, there's hundreds of thank yous. Thank you, Steve. Leslie saying, my cat sat on my lap throughout the session. How can it get any better than that? Fabulous. Yeah, my cats have been coming and going throughout the whole of this webinar. Janice is saying, thank you so much for this webinar. It made me realise that my approach to romantic relationships is the same as my approach to money. Yes! Susie, our romantic relationship webinar's on its way. And Janice is saying, I must never realise it. I just never realised it before. Brilliant. Fabulous. Well done, Janice, for making that link. Because, yeah, we go into a lot more of this in the actual programme, but it's not just about being open to receive money. It's being able to receive love and everything else in our life. Brilliant. Agosma saying, thank you, ladies. You rock. Much love to both of you, Agosma. Diane saying, I've realised that when things have been desperate, money has shown up, but I don't trust it will continue. Thank you. Great. Gives you something to work on, Diane. Lois is saying, thank you so much. You're very welcome. Nicola, thank you. You're welcome. Okay, and Beth saying www.i-t. Sorry, try that again. i-t.a-p.com. Site is in construction. Okay, well, we'll put that out when it's up and running. And Beth saying, brilliant money, love, and sex connection. Yeah. Yeah.
Yay.
Money energy, romantic energy, love energy, sex energy. It's all the same. How open are you to receive that? Cheryl saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And Beth saying, you, Sharon and Susie, are grand. You're very welcome, guys.
Oh, thank you.
So we really hope that some of you, if not all of you, are going to join us on the programme. You've got 48 hours from now to sign up. You have the link, susieandsharon.com, in your little chat box there. We will also be sending it out with the replay tomorrow morning, just to remind you if you're feeling tired now and don't want to sign up there. But enjoy the replay. Please listen to it again. You're also going to get a copy of the PowerPoint so you can go through and check any of your limiting beliefs as well. So, Susie, I think we've just about covered everything, and we should let these good people go on their way. But from me, I'd just like to say thank you very much for joining us and for all your wonderful comments. And we look forward to sharing more with you in the future.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for really investing in yourself by taking on this call. And that's the wonderful thing, is you've taken that time for yourselves tonight to really look at your relationship with money. So I hope you give yourselves a great big congratulations. You feel really proud and smug with yourselves, and it gives you something to feel grateful for before you go to sleep or to start your day. So thank you for joining us. We really are interested in how you get on. I know it's on the internet, and I know people say that, but we genuinely are interested. So we do love your feedback. So you can contact us through Facebook, or through our website, and do let us know how you get on. We will keep in touch with you, because we love communicating with you and having that communication from you. So we wish you the bunch of fun with your new sexy lover, your money lover, and I'm going to wish you a good night, good day, or good morning wherever you are in the world. And so it's a beautiful, loving goodbye from me, and I will hand back to Sharon, who gets the power to close the webinar.
Yeah, brilliant. And just to add, just looking at that Facebook logo there, for those people on the program, we have a private Facebook group where we share experiences and answer any more of your questions. So it's always good to keep in touch on Facebook, and most of you are connected with us on Facebook anyway, but come and find us on Facebook and come and play. And also enjoy the full moon tonight as well. I know some of you have already witnessed the eclipse, for those of you in America. So it's a really awesome evening awesome time to be sharing this information with you. So as Susie said, have a wonderful day, have a wonderful evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. And we look forward to connecting with you again really soon. So take care, everybody. Bye-bye.